The following is fiction. It's a story that takes place 5 years or so ahead of its recording. It is not a political message nor a prediction. No AI-generated voices were used in its production. This is Worldwide News. I'm Edward Brown. A strange silence has fallen over the United Nations in Brussels.
With nothing resolved in their dispute over the territories between Mongolia and North Korea, both China and Russia have been very quiet. Neither country's ambassadors or spokesmen have so much as posted on social media anything for at least 48 hours. Discussion between the two governments over the border ended publicly a week ago, but it has been assumed by many here in Brussels that negotiations had been continuing behind the scenes. The countries both have extreme interest in the mining rights in that area, which has been found to have large deposits of rare earth minerals. Mongolian officials have been meeting for several days with many UN representatives pleading for some sort of aid or assistance. They are afraid that their nation will get caught in the middle of the two behemoths should anything spark on the border between them. The North Korean government is still campaigning for a seat at the table of any negotiations. Many nations, especially in the European theatre, are doing their best to stay as far away from the dispute as possible. Sandra Cannon, in Brussels.
I'm Dale Charles from the U.S. State Department in Washington. It's no secret that the U.S. government is watching very closely the interactions of the Russians and the Chinese over this matter. But so far, the official word is that they, too, will watch from the sidelines. President Madison Monroe assured the American public in several posts over her social media accounts that the U.S. will not be, in her words, sticking their nose in where it doesn't belong. Recent polling has shown Americans to be apathetic at best over the potential of anything happening over the Russia-China border dispute. A recent Childress poll said less than 12% of Americans want the U.S. to take some sort of role in the dispute, while nearly 3/4 said the U.S. should stay out altogether. So far, the president seems to agree. Dale Charles, in Washington.
World markets have taken notice of the chill in relations between China and Russia. Trading is down in nearly every market, including in New York. The dollar moved slightly higher against the euro today in a heavy day for the currency market. Also in Brussels, the first conference of the indigenous peoples of the world began today. Representatives from the United States, Canada, Australia, Brazil, Mexico, and many African countries are scheduled to set up a charter this week, focusing on the rights of the indigenous populations in their respective countries. The group plans to be a high-profile international voice for those populations, trying to put pressure on the various governments to ensure indigenous rights. They plan to use the internet for most of their media and to work closely with the United Nations, but so far none of the governments of the represented countries have given official recognition to the new group. An accident nearly cost the group The Hooligans one of their members. A problem with a badly wired and stacked set of amplifiers caused a collapse on stage before the Hooligans' outdoor concert in Dallas last night. Caught up in the middle was vocalist Yame.
We're doing mic checks, and suddenly all I see are amps coming down on me, and then I woke up in the ambulance.
The injury will keep the Hooligans off their touring schedule for at least 3 weeks. The group is asking fans and ticket holders to watch their website and social media accounts for tour updates. And residents of Florida are continuing to endure rough conditions as near constant rainfall has plagued the area after they finally ended a record-breaking drought a couple weeks ago. Flooding has emerged in the very same areas that had to conserve water not that long ago. As if things could get any worse, a very rare earthquake shook the center of the state early this morning. The rumbler, rated at 3.2 on the Richter scale, may have contributed to some mudslides and the disintegration of some roadways in the affected area. Rain is in the forecast for at least 3 more days. And that is Worldwide News. I'm Edward Brown.